I'm Kevin Casey. I'm a professional mixed martial arts fighter. And right now, what I'm about to do is issue a warning out to all other competitors.
I don't want overs. I just expect them to happen.
Fatty's gonna fatty is real.
Oh, give me fucking truth, baby! Come on! Let's go!
How have I been this successful in life?
Indeed, how have you been? We need to get that out of the intro, Shaun.
I know.
But we're back for another week of the MMA analysis. We missed you last week, but glad to be back with you. Shaun, do we want to talk about 2 weeks ago? We'll just do it like
the week off could have came at a better time. It was a nice palate cleanser from the filth that was UFC 297 for multiple reasons. Hey, Canadian MMA is just waiting to break out.
When they finally win one, and by they I mean the fellas here, because the ladies are holding up their end of the bargain. Spoiler alert: we might have one consensus bet for each of the ladies that got a victory a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks without a show, 2 ladies win, 2 consensus bets. So it's all lining up. It's going to be perfect. But yeah, the rest of it, men's MMA is in a rough place in this country. It's scary.
That women's bantamweight is right up there with the Canadian men's MMA. Yikes!
I actually didn't watch that. I watched a couple of the prelims. Jimmy Flick, obviously, and it wasn't. What am I looking for here? Anyway, I watched the main event and a couple other fights on the main card. The Magny Medoving, obviously, gotta watch the Magny Medoving happen. But yeah, it wasn't something that I was interested in. It turned out to be something that wasn't all that interesting in practice either. So
big shock.
Fun. Yeah,
big shock.
So let's move along with some haste. Consensus, Jimmy Flick, by the way. So undefeated to start the year, not unlike Canadian women's MMA. This week, UFC Vegas 83. Is that what I clicked on over at the Mason book?
UFC Vegas 85. UFC on ESPN 93.
Too many numbers, man. But very much like my recollection of what number it is. Card, relatively forgettable. We'll see if we can find you some bets in here, though. Generic Russian guy number 1 versus generic Russian guy number 2. I think if you actually simulate 30 years through the UFC video game, it just is all dudes named like this that are in every division. They're all bald. They all got a beard. Same dude. Anyway, those 2 guys are fighting in the main event of this one and a bunch of other stuff, but we are going to kick it off in tremendous fashion. A little dip into the pool with the fellas Thomas Petersen and Jamal Pogues. Shaun.
Yeah, let's get some fatties right out of the way, right out the chute. Even money. Well, not even. You got some juice on the over 2.5, which is not really surprising. Pogues is not good, and he goes to a ton of decisions since he's came to the UFC. I don't know if this Thomas Petersen fella is really any good. Got nothing but finishes. He's getting key locks in 2023. Oh Lord, this is special. I will probably take the dog, and it's going to be terrible. I probably won't watch. I know it's tough at minus 240, minus 230, but it might be a parlay piece if you're really really jonesing because this card is tough to find some decent bets on. So that might be the way I end up going.
Yeah, I don't mind the over any way you want to play it here. Maybe because of recent traumatization, I'll take the over 2.5 instead of fight goes the distance here, especially because there's only a few sets difference. But I think this is just going to be two bags of meat hugging on each other for the better part of 15 minutes. Both guys like to get in there and try and wrestle, and I think it's just going to end up with two tired guys in the clinch in this one. So give me the decision. What's the who's got the better decision prop? It's got to be Pogues, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, Petersen.
Oh no. Yeah, it's 200, 265. I mean, obviously it's getting bad. We're not getting full lines at a lot of shops until like Thursdays and shit like that. Like, man, UFC needs to get some shit going because not even the bookmakers are trying to give a fuck it right now.
I'm getting lacrosse lines before I'm getting UFC lines. That's sport of the future, folks. Cross. Look it up. Anyway, Fatty's going to fatty big time in that one. Lightweight division. This is rough for a while, folks, so bear with us. We're doing what we can. Markel Mederos taking on Landon Quiñones.
Yeah, Quiñones had a fun fight with Haqparast. I think that's more of a bad look on Haqparast. He hit this dude a ton and couldn't really do too much with it. As we know, it seems like Haqparast had absolute pillow hands. I know he's got the last guy he fought out of there, but Mederos seems like he hits quite a bit harder than Haqparast. So if I was to play some, it'd probably be Mederos by TKO at like plus 200. Not an amazing line, especially in a almost pick'em fight, but I don't really want much action on a fight between this low level of guys. So hopefully it's a war. I think Quiñones gets hit a bit harder this time and probably gets put away.
Yeah, I think if I had to play something here, I'd probably look at the under. Both guys hit. Both guys can get hit. Both guys seem to have a little bit of power. So I'd look at that, but I have no strong opinions on this whatsoever. When I watch it, it'll be a learning experience for me. Women's flyweight division, Luana Carolina taking on Dolidze Stoliarenko. Is that how our boy Shag says it? Is that
Stoliarenko? I can't remember.
Something like that. Either way, she's bad. Shaun.
She is bad. It is quite funny that she armbars in less than 2 minutes Molly McCann, and she is third fight to go, and is McCann the prelim main event on this card or some shit like that. It's quite enjoyable.
Meatball brings the folks. All right,
everybody loves the meatball. Yeah, obviously Stoliarenko's path to victory is armbar, likely early. Does she get it? It's possible, probable, I guess. I'm still taking the dog. I'm not betting it probably, but when a fighter has basically one path to victory and she isn't that good, it's hard not to take the other side at dog prices, but it's also low level shit. So what can you do?
What do you mean that good? Just like not good at all.
Yeah.
Anyway, on this fight, I think if you want to like do a little hedge, you go with Stinko round one sub. Not the greatest price. You can get like close to 500 out there, which is not bad because that is her way to win the fight. And then just take Carolina by decision if the gap is big enough, but money line too, because sometimes Stinko will quit towards the end of fights. So you can do that if you want. I'm just gonna go against my normal instinct, which would be taking the big sub number on the prop and go with just the dog, which is like kind of with my instincts. And it's gonna be the dog in Toutmaster, obviously. Speaking of which, Wes is in second
place. Let's see how long it lasts. It's early, but yeah, he had a very good 297. He had some nice dogs. He had the Magny Madoff. He had a couple other ones, and he had a pretty good first event. So good luck to that, sir.
Yeah, nice. Show up next time, maybe.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. Featherweight division. Blake Bob the Bilder taking on. Is his nickname the? It should be the, but it's not, is it? His nickname is El Animal. That's
Builders, yes.
How is his nickname not just the? He could be Blake the Builder instead of Bob the Builder, you know?
Yeah, but that would take some comedic sense and brain cells, and obviously that might.
It's literally the first thing that came to my mind, Shaun.
I know, it doesn't take much.
They're struggling out there.
You're the man of the nickname.
He's taking on Jeong-yeong Lee. I probably said his name out of order from the way it's supposed to be said, because I was just reading it off Tapology. I apologize for being ignorant. Shaun, break it down.
I think you did pretty good there. It's hard to know how good Lee is because, of course, he just demolished the guys on Road to UFC that are absolutely terrible, and then wins a split when he actually makes his UFC debut against, you know, another pretty mediocre fighter. Blake Bilder is not great. But it's hard for me not to pick the guy that seems much more established, and you know, if he can win a decision, I don't know if this Lee fella can. So I'll be picking Bilder in Toutmaster, but I don't want to bet him.
Did you see that Lee won against the long lost brother of the Rizza and the Jizza? The Yizza. I hope the
Asian brother
shot. His second albums where he really comes to life.
Oh yeah.
Not a lot here. I kind of agree with what you said. Bilder, we've seen in the UFC a couple times. It seems like he's close to belonging here. He can grind on dudes a little bit, and I'm not sure how much Lee has faced that over in Korea past. So probably Bilder decision, but I would kind of hope that this guy's actually pretty good and knocks him out, because that would be a relatively impressive guy to knock out. No bet on that one for me. I guess Toutmaster, another dog. So that's going to go well. Welterweight division, we got Pete the Heat. The Heat, baby. He's taking on Themba Gorimbo. He's the rock bottom of house or something. I don't know. There's something like that.
Yeah, he was so poor that, yes, it's such a good story for MMA that guy needs the rock to buy him a house. Pete Rodriguez is not good. He does have big power. I don't think Gorimbo is very good. This guy, he's had a decent amount of fights, but he's shown some pretty big holes at this stage, and I don't know if I was gonna, like I said, there's not much that I like on this card, but if I was gonna go bet something, it would probably be Rodriguez KO or KO round one. Like him KO is only like plus 265, plus 300. That's not great considering his money line's plus 210. Like what the fuck? They're really figuring it out. So I probably just pass and hopefully Pete Rodriguez does, makes some portion of the MMA fan, fandom sad by knocking out this fool.
Yeah, I was just when I was turning my head sideways. Sorry about that. I was zooming in on the picture that he's got on the old Tapology, and it's him holding a UFC belt. I feel like that is poor juju. So he's gonna lose to Pete the Heat because he's just brought it upon himself by putting that out there for the MMA gods. What did you say the that price was on round one? Not enough?
Round one might be a little bit better. I only looked at just TKO, but round one is plus 500. So him round one TKO is same. Like 500, 550.
There's one book where it's 50 cents different, but
yeah, love it.
That one they figured out.
Maybe we'll get some nicer pricing at the old Bet 365 when they drop some odds.
Indeed, but yeah, I think I might dabble in a little Pete the Heat round one because why not? Why not? If I'm gonna be watching this, I am gonna be making stupid bets on it. Flyweight division, Charles Johnson taking on Azat Maksum. I think that is the name of a Magnum condom over in Uzbekistan. They call it an Azat Maksum. Anyway, off to you.
That's Kazakhstan, Bradley, not Uzbekistan. Kazakhstan's taken over, man. There's apparently a lot of fighters showing up. This is the guy. Like I'm pretty sure we consensused Tyson Nam against him and lost a split.
Good bet.
That was a good bet for us, but it didn't cash. Doesn't seem like Maksum's that good. Unfortunately, he's probably just going to take down Charles Johnson a million times because Charles Johnson can get up, but he gets taken down a million times. So this is going to be one of those fights. I guess maybe if he keeps getting up, maybe Maksum tires and maybe Johnson can take over late. But by that time, I don't think he'll get a finish. So it might be just too much, too little, too late. So I'll be picking Maksum, but I don't really like that price tag.
Yeah, I feel like Johnson's one of those guys that benefited from the late rounds on the regional circuit. I could be completely making that up, but it feels right just based on his style. So as you said, he's going to get taken down. I could see him coming back and maybe winning round 3. Don't see him winning the fight. And this all seems pretty accurate in terms of money line, the total heavily juiced towards this going to a decision, and then the condom man not being able to finish. So it all lines up. Nothing for me on that one. Prelim headliner. Her meatballs bring all the boys to the yard, Shaun. Meatbally McCann taking on the breakfast biscuits. Whew. Almost had a little slip there. Very unprofessional of me. Take it away.
Molly McCann is not good. She got some interesting wins on some fight cards that helped her become good. But I mean, it wasn't a great first fight for the Belbita cheese, getting 30-25.
Usually not
I
good.
think, I think she's got better, and I don't think McCann is as good as kind of what she showed there. So I'll be throwing a dart on the Belbita cheese. Pure meatball fade.
Yeah, I'm good with the meatball fade. Always, I know they fought before. I know it very much went towards the meatball-y side of things. I'm not sure how much better Belbita has gotten, but I know that meatball-y isn't any better at all. So I think this is certainly going to be much closer than the first fight. And it's weird women's MMA. And sometimes Belbita is Canadian, which means that because she's women's MMA, she's going to win. So easy. Plus 223 at the old Mason book. There's some plus 220s out there. We're going to go plus 223. Half a unit. First consensus.
Yikes.
Yeah, very scared. Don't feel good about it at all. Main card, welterweight division. Gilbert Urbina. Charles Radtke. I feel like Radtke had an interview that people either really enjoyed or he said something potentially off-putting.
There's some people that probably enjoyed it. They just are not good people.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense. You know. Yeah. But anyway, those two guys are fighting. Chuck.
Yeah, of course. You know, just starting the main card with Urbina versus Radtke. Charlie Radtke seems like a moron. He also doesn't seem that good. I know he beat the Blood Diamond, but that's not really that impressive. I also don't think Gilbert Urbina is very good. To be fair, the guys he's lost to, I know Wes has the absolute biggest hate on for Brian Battle, but he's turned out to, you know, beat the people he should beat, and even some he might have not should have beat in the UFC. So maybe he's not terrible. I'll take Urbina. Radtke's a moron. Don't care.
Yeah, I feel like the Blood Brother Pride tattoo, that's an interesting choice. You know, you can just shorten that up, man. You can, if you want to say it, you just go ahead and say it. You just put that WHIT.
I kind of want him to win. I really want him to win to see if they give him the mic and what kind of absolute garbage comes out. And then Dana can, you know, say, oh, well, we're all about free speech, or he'll actually have to say something if it's bad enough.
Ooh. There's no Palestinian or Afghan fighters on this card, because then
so we're safe. We're safe that
why
way.
Why wasn't this guy able to walk out with his flag, but that dude could say that? Free speech, what? Anyway, don't really care about this fight. I don't know why it's on the main card. And we're going to move on to the middleweight division. I kind of understand why this is on the main card, because this is one of those Dagestani guys that they're hyping the shit out of, and he's taking on Floyd Mayweather's tax write-off, Mahmoud Muradov.
It's hilarious that Muradov is like, he's just most known for that because of, you know, he's just the most bland dude in the UFC. He doesn't really have that great of record. Has lost when he's stepped up. Yeah, he's got skills, but him not getting Barbarina out of there last time is, granted, of course, I bet him. So that was 2023, and I bet him. So of course he didn't finish Brian Arena. Regardless, that is a bad look. He battered the shit out of him, but not being able to put him out is not a great look. How good is the Russian, the Khizriev? I don't know. It's tough to know. He never fights. Like, you know, he's had at most 2 fights he's had 2 fights in a year once in the last 6 years. Dude never fights, so it's hard to know if he's, you know, getting better. He is 33, so I know it's middleweights, but you know, he's an undefeated dude. He should be fighting lots. Like if he wants to do anything, yet for whatever reason it is, I don't know what specifically the reason is. He never fights. He's probably the better guy. I think he probably gets Muradov down and maybe tires him out. Meerschaert got Muradov down.
That's the Meerkat. Come on.
I know. The Meerkat's jiu-jitsu is good. His offensive wrestling is okay. So yeah, I think Khizriev, you know, gets him down and wins. I guess it's tough to say. Like, Muradov's been subbed 4 times. That's probably the route it goes. Khizriev, you know, has a bunch of TKO wins, but that was kind of on the Russian regional scene. And his 2 kind of UFC fights, they're both subs. So that would probably be the direction I would go.
I think that's reasonable. I would like to bet against Khizriev, and I'm going to at some point. I don't think this is it. I think he can grind a little bit. I mean, if his hands don't get to Muradov, because I know it was mostly a fatigue thing, but when the Meerkat puts you down like that, that's not ideal. So I do lean Khizriev, or not lean. I'm picking Khizriev in this fight. Gonna be fading him soon, though. And both these guys, I mean, Khizriev from noted juicer camp over in Machachkala with the mac and cheese and Khabib and all the best EPO known to man. And Muradov got that Mayweather money, so you know he's gonna be on some good shit. So now that USADA's gone, this might be a pretty good fight, actually. We'll see. I'll be disappointed if these guys aren't juiced to the gills coming into this one. Women's flyweight division, future champ. Everyone's saying it. All the people. Natalia Silva. She's taking on Viviane Araujo.
Yeah, this is kind of old UFC seasoned fighter versus the hype machine. Silva's 26, Araujo's 37. I mean, it doesn't look great for Araujo, but I don't know. Could Natalia Silva be that good? Maybe. She did, you know, it's not like she's just a flawless fighter. She did lose early on in her career. She did lose to Marina Rodriguez. So like I don't think she's just some untouchable fighter. I think Araujo is a good test for her. Araujo is kind of good, okay everywhere. And she's tough. So I think it's worth a shot to see if Silva is that good. She couldn't put Andrea Lee out of there. She beat her fairly decisively, but I don't know if a fighter that's probably not going to get a finish, if she should be minus 350 and climbing in a women's MMA fight. So I'm taking a shot on Silva. Looks like plus 285 is best price that I can see. That's pretty nice.
Same. We've seen Araujo in there against good opponents, and she's always been pretty competitive. I was just trying, for some reason, the UFC stats page won't load on my laptop.
That's
it's probably
you.
It's probably got some sort of weird tracker on there that my computer doesn't like. But yeah, I know they both fought Andrea Lee in quite different fights. Like Araujo sort of forced the grappling in that fight, and Silva just kept it on the feet the entire time. So I think we might see some takedowns out of Araujo in this one. If it's on the feet, it's not going to be a blowout. Nobody's getting knocked out here. And Araujo at least looks like she's throwing hard punches, which is good as far as the judges go. So, yeah, we're going to throw another half unit on Vivia Araujo plus 285 as the second consensus bet of the week. Shaun, it feels so gross.
It is disgusting. But I mean, it's that's what
this card deserves.
That's what this card deserves.
Welterweight division, Andy Brown taking on Muslim Salikhov.
I think when this was originally booked, I bet Salikhov. I know I was just throwing fucking darts at the wall last year after just losing in every way possible.
To collect your thoughts.
Yeah, I feel like I've had some time to collect and be a little pickier to start 2024. Randy Brown probably wins this fight. If he's smart, he takes down Salikhov. The first round, I know he took the third man down. He did take the third man down. But yeah, if he doesn't, it gets sketchier. I think regardless, Salikhov seems to have okay takedown for defense for a couple minutes. So that first round might be a little sketchy, but I don't think Salikhov just wipes him out. Brown has shown a bit of a suspect chin, so it's definitely possible, but I think Brown survives those early couple minutes that aren't great. If he can mix in some wrestling and he just uses his reach to win a decision here.
Yeah, to me, Randy Brown's kind of one of those classic guys where love betting him as a dog, hate betting him, don't mind betting him as like a close favorite, but when you get up favorite, to like you gotta parlay him territory, not the type of guy that I really want to be betting. So I think this is probably going to be a pass for me. I know we've seen more grappling out of Salikhov lately. Might just be the guys that he's facing. And I don't know that will work against Brown. But I think if this stays on the feet, Brown's long, but I feel like Salikhov knows how to use his length a little bit better. Definitely a better kicker of the two fighters here. So I don't know. If I was forced into something, the arm was twisted, I think I'd probably be looking at like Salikhov decision at a big price, because I think it's just going to be probably competitive 15-minute stand-up fight, and that's $550-ish allegedly. So maybe I'll find my way into something. And finally, we have reached the only good fight of the card. Lightweight division, Renato Moicano taking on Drew Dober. Shaun.
I'm a bit surprised the price is where it is. Now, we've made a bunch of money on Drew Dober knocking fools out. And I think I had I might have had Ricky. Did I have Ricky Glenn last time? I might have mushed Ricky Glenn into getting knocked the fuck out in 2.5 minutes to Dober last time out there. The man has big power. He's shown a pretty good chin. He had some really good recovery against McKinney. The kryptonite is always going to be the grappling. I think if Moicano was smart, once again, he goes for takedowns, he gets them, and he locks up a sub. I don't know if Moicano's, new persona is gonna get him into trouble here and into a bit of a brawl, because that would be a very bad idea against a big puncher. So hopefully he's does what he's been doing, and he's a wild man, but he also is gonna take this dude down and choke him, because that's the path that I think. I might parlay Moicano if I can find something to put him with. Him inside is like plus 140, plus 120. I think that's probably a pretty decent bet, because he is a very offensive fighter, and if Dober doesn't get him out of there early, I think he kind of just takes over and wears out Dober and probably chokes him out. But so yeah, I like Moicano. It is scary betting against Drew Dober with that power, but I think Moicano is obviously the better, more skilled fighter, has fought the better competition. It's just MMA stupid sometimes.
Was listening. I'm just trying to hop over to Betway, because I figured the minus 145 had to be wrong. And it is.
Was that the money line?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's what it's got on Fight Odds. But I was like, no, there's no way that's right.
There's no way.
It's not right. Sorry.
Sad. That's okay.
I agree. And I think that Moicano's wrestling isn't great. I think he's only taken a couple guys down multiple times. Jai Herbert, I know he wrestled a bunch. Whoever he fought after that, I think he got a couple takedowns. But he's also the kind of guy that doesn't necessarily need a good, clean takedown to be able to hop on your back and find that position. So as long as he is willing to initiate grappling and scramble and prolong those sequences, he's going to be fine here. If he just sits outside and thinks that he's going to be able to kick Drew Dober's legs and get away with it, he's going to get hit by one of the heaviest hitters at 155. And this is a guy who basically needed Rafael dos Anjos to stop punching him to start having success at the end of that fight. And that was like out of pity. That he just kind of stopped hitting him, I think. But we've seen Moicano get cracked by a lot of dudes, and not cutting down to 145 is helpful in that regard, but I don't think it solves the entire problem. So he needs to come out here and fight right. And if he doesn't, there's a very good chance that he's getting knocked out. Do we think it happens in the first 7.5 minutes? Because
I know, I was looking at that. It's just fucking, you're working against Dober and Moicano not choking this dude dead. That's a tough bet to risk. But yeah, I was looking at it as well.
Well, we'll see. No bet for me at this point on this fight. Maybe we'll get to something on the total or a prop here, but I think I'm just going to enjoy it. Can't say that about a lot of the fights lately, so good for Moicano and Dober. Main event, Roman Dolidze taking on the fake Frenchman, Nassourdine Imavov. Sounds French, doesn't he?
Super French. It was Alex Hernandez that Moicano took down after the Jai Herbert fight, and he choked him out with a rear naked choke, which that could be what we see on Saturday, a very similar style of fight. As for the main event, this is tough for me. I bet against Dolidze in every single fight of his in the UFC. Well, I don't, except the first couple. You know, the first couple, I'm pretty sure I bet Giles against him. I didn't bet Staropoli, but I'm pretty sure I took Dawkins, Phil Hawes, Jack Hermanson, and squeaked out finally a win with Vettori last time. But I am definitely down money fading Dolidze. I don't know. The guy just doesn't seem good to me, but he does have some skills, and I don't know if it was also good timing and good matchups. But then he also looked okay against Vettori, Vettori is a tough guy. And so it's tough.
But
for
a
me
tough
to
guy
really...
where your question's also like, yeah, he's like tough, but is he actually good?
No, he's got a hell of a chin. And he can grind on people, and that's kind of what it comes down to. And in some places, that's really all you need. Imavov seems decent. He was gonna win that Chris Curtis fight, if not for the headbutt. Other than that,
I was on Curtis in that one, so.
Yeah. Sometimes you get some luck going your way. For the most part, he's looked good in the UFC. I know he lost the 5-rounder against Strickland. Turns out Strickland's pretty fucking good. So I think I side with Imavov. I can't really find an angle at this point for the main event. It's very rare that I don't have money in some sort of way on the main event. You know, like some overs, you know, like Dolidze probably has to get a finish, and Imavov doesn't seem that easy to finish. So I don't know if you look at some late round, maybe Imavov, you know, round 4, round 5 or something like that. Those got to be some decent plus money, but I really don't have anything. I'll pick Imavov to get a late finish.
I think I'm not quite as scarred as Shaun is from betting against Dolidze all the time, even though I also don't think he is good. So I feel pretty good about Imavov in this spot. I think technically he's a significantly better fighter. I know he had some, cardio issues early in his career, where Phil Hawes was able to win a round 3 against him, which isn't good. But I think he's sorted that out, and there's just going to be so much more volume coming out of Imavov in this fight that Dolidze needs to knock him out or grab a weird knee bar or something like that to win this fight, and I just don't see it happening. So I kind of like the overs in here. If you're looking for a parlay piece, over 2.5, I think is fine. But I think Imavov is pretty safe as well. I think he's going to win a decision, or as you said, maybe he'll pile it up late and get a stoppage. I lean more towards decision because I still think he's kind of a fraud.
Sure.
But yeah, he'll probably get a pretty decent price on that.
Might even look at a same game parlay of Imavov.
I forget that you
over
can
2.5.
Yeah, people can do those now.
Yeah.
I'd
Sometimes
like
they have boosts on them. So
yeah, take a look at what your local is offering. Your local, as in whatever is only legal to you
available
in your
to
jurisdiction. We would never promote anything else on this lovely show.
LR wants you to talk lacrosse.
But where would we want to start? First of all, I am very sorry to hear about the inflation going on in the manga scene in your favorite place in the world, TJ. That's awful. Lacrosse is wonderful. NCAA season is about to start this weekend, actually. Shaun knows that's where we like to make a couple bucks in the spring when we're waiting for all of our puck futures to cash and all that good stuff. So that's going to be fun. I think Duke wins the title this year. It's only plus 500 as a future, though, so not great.
Tough.
but there's really only like 5 or 6 teams that actually have a shot to win the national championship. NLL, way better than the NCAA, although my beloved Toronto Rock suffered their first loss of the season this past week. 5-1 though, on the season so far. Can't be mad. I convinced the wife that we're going to go down to Buffalo for the weekend when they're playing Buffalo in March. She gets to do the shopping. I get to eat the wings. We go to a lacrosse game, casino right beside the arena in Buffalo. So that'll be a good weekend. Shaun,
Trip.
The oil is flowing. It's like There Will Be Blood Part 2.
Why did they do this to me? I was on this podcast just absolutely depressed that we were pissing another year away of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. And now they're 1 win away from tying the record for most wins in a row. And they just can't do it the easy way. But I can't complain. We're a wagon. Hopefully it continues. Yeah, finally a glimmer of hope.
As much as I would like for them to set the record, Bo and I need Aiden Hill to shut them out to end the win streak so that we can get the Vezina train rolling. I
might be on that as well. You'll plus 7,500 is available when I took it. So, if it happens, it happens. If he has to, run a string of shutouts after he loses to the Oilers, that works as well. Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, the football thing is happening in a couple weeks. I don't know if... So I'm a Lions fan. People know. We get in that parking lot and we just...
Eat it up.
I don't know if it's just that I don't care about football at all anymore, or that everyone I talked to in the lead up to the conference championship, I was like, yeah, regardless of what happens, how the game goes, it was a successful season. I feel pretty good about the Lions. And then they had to lose in the most Lions way possible. But I still wasn't upset about it, even when it was happening. So I don't know if I'm just a very balanced human being who's at peace.
I think you've been beat down enough that your
or
feelings...
I just don't care about football at all in the slightest.
Don't care or have just been absolutely beat down over the years of the absolute atrocity that is the Detroit Lions.
Can't lie. Betting the Niners at halftime helped.
Yes.
But yeah, Super Bowl, as LR states, you can't bet against Patty Mahomes.
Lost money.
Purdy, I don't really watch Niners games. I'm not a big football guy. He is not good. He threw double-digit balls that should have been interceptions, and
see what the KC defense says about that.
Yeah. So there we go. Apparently, Jake Gyllenhaal got CTE while he was filming the new Roadhouse because he's doing all sorts of weird shit on his latest movie. But we've gone on too long.
He got the MMA experience in a couple months. He got just jacked up on steroids and then got CTE.
Nailed it. He speed ran MMA. He wins.
That's right.
I think that's enough of our bullshittery for one evening. If we didn't do that, world record for not just that, or been something shorter than 49 minutes, apparently. We appreciate you guys. See you later.